What up, player? Put P90X on pause. You're watching Simple Tips by Simple Pickup. If you don't know what the friend zone is, then let me explain it to you. It is a dark, sad place where men all over the world go to have their balls slowly removed from them. Once the balls are removed, the penis starts to shrivel, and eventually it sucks itself back into the body. This process can take anywhere from 6 months to 6 painful years, and at the end of it all, the man then has a vagina and is capable of giving birth. The friend zone sucks. Being just friends with a girl that you want to impregnate can be very depressing. Guys who are friend zoned generally never escape it, and that is the cold, hard truth. Is it possible though? Is it possible to get out of the friend zone if you're already just friends with a girl? Yes, it definitely is possible, but you have to get your shit handled first. Guys who get friend zoned a lot are usually giant vaginas. How do I know? Because I was one myself. So here's what usually happens. Guy meets a girl turns out to be really cool, and the guy likes this girl. And throughout the course of months, maybe even years, this guy tries to get at the girl, but he fails to take decisive action with the girl and hopes that one day the girl is going to see him for who he really is. And that's a wrong mindset, because who he is actually a very big pussy. And girls don't like that. So for now, I want you to forget about that whole friend zone thing. Let's go into why it happens in the first place. You're probably just too nice. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a nice guy. You just have to be confident about it. Being a nice guy who gets stepped on by other people is not acceptable, and that is not going to get you the girl that you want. If you find yourself getting friend zoned a lot, you're probably in that category. You're a really, really nice guy who just gives and gives and gives and expects nothing in return. You probably avoid making people uncomfortable at all costs. In fact, you might even go out of your way to make people feel comfortable. You also worry way too much about ruining the relationship and other people's feelings. Again, I'm not saying that's wrong to do, but if you're spending your time worrying too much about these things, people actually get less respect for you. They feel less for you. Now, what do I mean by feel less for you? Well, girls are attracted to exciting emotions. If you're someone who tries to keep the relationship as safe as possible with the least amount of exciting emotions, that's boring. And that is not going to attract girls. So what you're doing when you make it seem like other people's feelings are more important than yours is you're saying that your feelings don't matter. Your emotions don't matter, which then lowers your self-worth, and that is counterproductive to self-confidence. You're probably also too needy, and being needy is gross. To girls, neediness is also very, very easy to smell, and unfortunately, it smells like cow shit to them. Needy guys see a girl that they like, and they think that this girl is perfect, and they put her on a pedestal, and they think that this girl is better than them, that they're not good enough for this girl, and therefore they act that way. So how do you fix being needy? Stop treating every single girl like she's the last girl you're ever gonna meet. Another thing that you need to realize is how you're communicating with a girl. Are you communicating with her like a confident man would communicate with a sexy woman who he wants to have sex with? Or are you communicating with her like you're her gay best friend who listens to her problems and comforts her whenever she needs you? Honestly, think about that question, because if it's the latter, then that's your problem. Don't treat her like a friend. Treat her like someone you want to have sex with. That means flirt with her. If you're already in the friend zone, my best advice to you would be forget about her. That's the first step towards not putting yourself in the friend zone with other girls in the future. I know this is easier said than done, but it must be done. If you don't get over the one girl that doesn't see you in a romantic light, you're gonna keep making the same mistakes over and over with girls in the future. Then you're gonna end up old and alone and wondering why you're still a virgin. Once you truly forget about that one girl, you'll feel very liberated. And with future girls, don't make the same mistakes that I mentioned earlier. Treat girls like they're girls, not friends. Flirt with them, make sexual jokes, make a move, take risks every now and then. Now, if you're still confused, Jason wrote a whole article about this, going into detail on what to do to get out of the friend zone. So if you want to see that, click on the link in the description below. So that leads me to the question of the week, which is, how did you get out of the friend zone? And if you're someone who didn't get out of the friend zone, what would you do differently if you could go back in time? Leave your answers in the comments section below. If you don't, I might have to have sex with your grandma.